Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back. It's Katja here, and today we're exploring A Flat Place by Noreen Masud, a highly recommended book by two friends. So Claire and Jill even gifted me my copy, which was super lovely of her. They both had a feeling I'd appreciate this memoir, and they were right. In A Flat Place, Noreen Masud intricately examines flat landscapes like the one in the picture, open and vast spaces with hidden depths and histories. These landscapes serve as a powerful metaphor for exploring her life, particularly her experiences with complex post traumatic stress disorder, which she describes as feelings of flatness and emptiness, especially emptiness. Now, I love this cover design. The British cover of the book markets it simply as a memoir, while the US cover adds a tagline, moving through empty landscapes, naming complex trauma, making the book's focus more explicit. Though I often prefer US covers, especially outside the fantasy genre, for this nonfiction read, I think the simpler green UK cover with its landscape resonates more with me this time. So, who is Noreen Masud and what inspired this book? A lecturer in 20th century English literature at the University of Bristol, she brings a unique blend of personal narrative as well as scholarly insight to this memoir. And a paragraph in the notes section that comes in, I think, after the epilogue in here, mentions that this book didn't actually start as a memoir, and it's easy to believe. But equally, I think she did a good job of turning it into a memoir. The book actually began as a trade book about flat landscapes. It evolved into a memoir on the advice of her agent, who saw value in exploring her personal reactions to these landscapes through the lens of her complex PTSD. This change brought a unique blend of that personal story mixed with slightly academic commentary on the actual places that she's visiting. And Masood visits 5 flat landscapes, including Cambridgeshire Fens, Orford Ness, and the Orkneys. And those 3 I particularly enjoyed visiting or revisiting because I've got familiarity with them. So it kind of felt like I was traveling with her when she was telling me about those spaces. It felt both intimate and somewhat detached as the story progresses. She connects her personal experiences to these landscapes while giving us some local history and adding depth, but it feels detached at the start because we're talking a lot about where she's walking and what these spaces are like. For the most part, the story has that sort of quality and doesn't tell us very deeply about her, but it changes. And I think Masood has this real authenticity when she starts occupying the space a bit more. She's refreshingly unglossy. Unlike typical memoirs where I think authors present their flaws in a really flattering light, she's straightforward and unapologetic about her complexities. And this authenticity extends to how she discusses broader issues like colonialism, post colonialism, and identity, at times in a nearly academic fashion, and at other times when she feels triggered by something or someone said something. Um, she reacts. And there's one case where she's ranting to her white Scottish mother and sees that her mom has these unshed tears. And it's because she's been going on about these privileged white people. A few times in her personal experiences, Masood really touches on the concept of the other, which highlights being a member of a dominated outgroup whose identity is considered lacking and who may experience discrimination from the in group. So it really gives you a lot of insights into different topics. These feelings are not restricted as well to her experience of living in the UK as a woman of colour, but also as a biracial family member in her father's more expansive family unit in Pakistan. And I think the mother's story would also be a fascinating one to delve in deeper too. Anyway, while this book tackled significant themes such as exile, racism, and patriarchal rule using flat spaces as a backdrop, there are moments when Masood's vulnerability feels a bit misplaced or too exposed. One particular scene felt unnecessary, even though it was meant to highlight her journey towards self acceptance, and it does sit outside the main part of the narrative. Now, don't worry, it's nothing weird as I'm making it sound a little bit odd, but if you've read it, it's a scene with her best friend at the end of all of her journeys. Yeah, but I think for the most part, it doesn't feel anything but authentic. And the memoir appears to have also acted as a therapeutic tool for Masood, helping her shape fragmented memories into a coherent narrative. And I enjoyed being there for her internal and external explorations. As someone familiar with the landscape she describes, I think this is why I found the book so compelling, and it made me consider how environments influence our mental states. For example, while I feel a unique peace in walking through flat landscapes, like the one she's described, walking along a beach evokes a far more profound and different kind of calm in me, highlighting just how our surroundings can impact our emotions. A Flat Place is a compelling read for anyone interested in stories that navigate personal trauma in a meditative way, uncovering deep truths about oneself and one's place in the world. It's a thoughtful examination of human emotions and the subjective nature of memory. It's perhaps less appealing to people who don't like metaphor and just want you to have a more conversational approach. I think by using metaphor, it can feel a little bit more disjointed, but as someone who actually enjoyed having little tangents and going into various topics, it was a book for me. Now, have you read it? What did you think? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts, and thanks for tuning in. Take care.